Damn, chill, you got another one?
What's poppin'? You already know the deal. You are now rockin' with no chill for real. We about to get ill. What did you expect for me to bow down, get soft and talk politically correct? They consider me a threat, especially if they goofy, cause I clown guys, no lies, I just do it truthfully. It's on the house like Snoopy, it's free in other words. I'm a nightmare to these super squares and nerds. I barbecue 'em with words when I'm through commentating. One thing you'll never see me ever do is hating, lying, exaggerating, or fabricating for views. If you not built for the street like a pair of shoes, as square as a Rubik's Cube, stop it and leave the field, or wind up a topic on no chill for real. You square as a Rubik's Cube, stop it and leave the field, or wind up a topic on no chill for real. All gas, no brakes. Gotta keep the pressure on these cowards and these snakes. Honor over money, gotta do what it takes. Gotta keep the pressure on these cowards and these snakes.
Gotta stay going in.
All gas, no brakes. Gotta keep the pressure on these cowards and these snakes. Honor over money, gotta do what it takes. Gotta keep the pressure on these cowards and these snakes. So once again, man, do not panic. I have not changed the intro for my channel 16 to Life. That intro actually is the intro for my other channel called No Chill for Real, where I'll be doing all things that's unrelated to prison type content, man. So actually, if you have not signed up for that channel, go ahead and sign up. I'm using this particular page right here just to draw a little traffic over there, man. So let's hop right into today's video, where we got the big fella, DAMIEN Porter, who has some extremely blistering words for Hoover Gumby. Now, in the past, in my opinion, DAMIEN Porter has always been a strong advocate for individuals from Hoover. So to see him suddenly go back and forth with an individual from Hoover is new, uncharted territory, man. And so, yeah, I think it's going to get ugly before it gets better. But let's get right into this video.
Welcome to another episode, everyone. Well, so Hoover Gumby, he's here with Real Tune TV. Shout out to Real Tune TV. And he's threatening Milk 7-4. He's talking about the Hoovers. He thinks he's King Hoover. He's talking about the Hoovers. And this is the video I was talking about yesterday that I wasn't going to play. I didn't really want to get him into any trouble. But
now, when he says he didn't want to get into any trouble, what I'm assuming he's talking about is he didn't want to, I guess, rile the anger of older individuals from Hoover, from his section, dudes who he respected and dudes who he valued their opinion, right? So I'm assuming that's what he's talking about.
But damn all that. At this point, it's on now. Now, I received many phone calls yesterday, FaceTimed them, etc. My OG homies who had a lot to say about Gumby and this entire situation. They just let me know that I had not done anything wrong and that, you know, essentially they were on my side. Now, this old nice ass dude, Gumby, this dude is nice. I have information about this individual that I just haven't exposed. If he said,
now, calling an individual nice in gang terminology is very disrespectful, right? It's a way of basically saying that, man, this dude is soft. He's not about nothing. So for those of you guys not familiar with the California gang culture terminology, I'm just giving you a translation.
This old nice ass dude, Gumby, this dude is nice. I have information about this individual that I just haven't exposed. If he says one more thing though about me, I'm going to expose him. I'm going to take the gloves off, Gumby. I'm going to take the gloves off and expose you, boy. Understand that. You wanted it, you got it.
Now, in my opinion, he's sending a very strong warning to Gumby. Basically saying that, hey, man, I have some information that's going to have you looking different at the end of the day. And so, you know, I don't know Gumby personally, right? But just seeing him on his interviews, that's going to be something he's not going to not respond to. And I just got a feeling that this can of worms is eventually going to be open, man.
No one's going to attack me and just get away with it. That's not going to happen. Are you from Hoover, boy? And stop snitching on Big U. I'm going to get into that on my next video, the very next video. Gumby, stop snitching. All right? Stop snitching. And stop being upset because you did some bozo stuff. Something that's going to get you in trouble, should you be convicted of it, by the way, and hit the yard. I kill somebody before I go PC. Gumby and PC don't go together. Really? Sure.
Now, I just want to miss a little something that may go over a lot of people's heads, right? He said that you're charged with something that may get you in trouble. Now, this is not necessarily in relation to what these two dudes got going on, but for the individuals, once again, I'm going to say it for the people in the back who love to say blacks don't have no politics and they can go to prison with any type of charges. Here you have the big fella saying the opposite, that is not true, man. It just seems like dudes who do not function with the blacks love to try to make assumptions and allegations that are not 100% true. I mean, do people slip through the cracks? Of course, you know, if a person is not a gang member, he's not going to be confronted and asked, you know, about his specific charges, so on and so forth. And so, you know, because when he's not a gang member, people feel that, okay, he's not from my gang. That's not my job. And like I said, due to the so many different factions of Crips, especially, and Bloods, some people do slip through the cracks, but it is definitely not an admirable thing to pull up with bad charges.
About that? Okay. Let's see. Say something else.
How do you feel about a lot of people saying like, man, you got a lot of stuff. It's like the Bible says, you know, you calling out the speck in somebody else's eye when you have a log in your own. You know, this is the narrative right now in Texas.
This is the thing though. Listen, what I'm trying to explain to you is that all my victims and haters, right, they all ganged up against me, right? But the thing about it is I've been fighting this fight for a long time and I've been winning. This is why they mad. This is why they mad. Everything out my mouth ain't no prayer book, but on West Side Hoover, everything that I say out my mouth, I really mean that. It is what it is with me. I don't really know, you know what I'm saying, what they talking about.
It's like well, let me just say, like, it's like all of your beefs in a sense are with people from Hoover. You know what I'm saying? Like every now and again.
True. If you beefing with Gumby, you not from Hoover. Period. If you on this internet right now beefing with me on Hoover, you're nowhere around us. On West Side Hoover, you ain't. You ain't around none of my nephews, none of that. You in Hawaii. You is all out PC'd up. And how you PC'd up in the free world? Bro, stop playing, bro. Stop playing, bro. And as for me putting Hoover business out here on the street, no, I just address it. That's all on Hoover. Y'all just mad because I'm more aggressive than you is on Hoover. I'm supposed to be. I'm from Hoover Street. Sick of this shit. Hey, man. Stop watching me. Watch your.
So basically, Gumby says, hey, man, don't watch me, watch TV. But once again, you know, when these dudes hop on YouTube, especially these content creators, right, you have to know and understand that individuals are going to react to what you're saying. They're going to comment on what you're doing. They're going to have an opinion. I mean, so that's just to be expected. A person cannot put something out there before the world and then turn around and say, don't watch me, you know. So it's really a oxymoron, pretty much.
Speaking of,
well, you're on the internet, bro, so you want people to watch you.
See, exactly.
That's why you're doing all of this stuff. This man just asked him, Real Tune TV. He said, it seems like all of your beefs are with Hoovers. Yeah. Answer that question. And then he says, well, if you're beefing with me, you're not from Hoover. You're nowhere around. If you're beefing with me, you're in Hawaii somewhere. He's talking about Alshon Martin. You know, who made it clear that he was in Hawaii and they got a beef going. They had they have a long, very long old beef going. They had fights and etc. And he's talking about that he's PC'd up, basically that he won't come to the hood. Talking about Alshon Martin. This is just to translate for y'all, keep you up to pace of what he's talking about. For sure, this is what he's referring to. But no one, Alshon Martin is not scared to come to the hood. He's been over there, bro. And now, of course, they're gonna say I'm just taking up for Alshon. This has been their narrative. But look at this dude here, man. This is your brain on drugs. 60 years old, going all Hoover though. That's all he talk about. That's all he can say. This is you. This is your life. This is what y'all want. He wanted the fame. He wanted to go viral. Came out telling his story. Had all this damn money. I'm not watching his pockets, but I know what went on.
Now, for those of you guys who may not be familiar with the story of Hoover Gumby, Hoover Gumby, around the age of 19, 20, somewhere up in there, was convicted. Him and someone else, they was convicted for a crime that he was actually and factually innocent of. After going to jail, spending some time in jail, it was a considerable amount of time. It was in the double digits. I don't really know off the top of my dome how much exactly it was, possibly 14, 15 years, maybe even a little longer. He eventually was released and he was awarded a judgment in the millions due to his unlawful incarceration, right? And so that's what he's talking about. Gumby has a pretty famous story in terms of prison stories or whatever. So if you guys are unfamiliar, just go research Gumby. There's more to that story. I've spoke about it, but that's pretty much the gist of it right there. He got out, he was a millionaire, and I guess now Damien Porter is saying he's run through his bread. Actually, I saw Gumby maybe a couple of days ago. He's currently locked up in Nevada, and he was saying that he was trying to get his bail money together. And so it does sound like, he is without the funds that he once had, so just to give you a little update and translation on that and clarification.
I know exactly what happened with that entire situation. And now he flat broke. Flat broke. Pay the homies the money that you owe, bro. Pay the homie the money. Man, this dude, man. Bro, don't get me started, man. You understand? Yeah, trust me. Man. But really, I'm started. You got me started. This is just a small taste. What I got for him today is just a small taste. Trust me. As I said, you open your mouth, I'm going to demolish you. I got something for you. You're done. I'm not worried about you. Nobody's scared of you, man. You ain't nobody. You're not King Hoover. You're not the face of Hoover. Boy, your nice ass. Stop snitching on Big U on a telephone, knowing that they recording these calls, talking about a robbery that he did, and he hasn't been convicted of the robbery. Snitching on himself, too. About to get himself a conspiracy charge. These dudes weird.
Speaking of which, I do have to ask, just because it's like the most it happened on the internet.
And he always talking about his nephews. Ain't nowhere around my nephew. Bro, listen. Don't nobody give a damn about your nephews. Nobody. First of all, I know exactly who you're talking about. Second of all, I don't give a damn if I did know who you're talking about or if I did not. We all have people that love us. We all have people that have our backs, bro. We all have people that are willing to die for us and kill for us. Not just you. Everyone that's in this life, in this gang, in this culture. We all have hitters. We all are a phone call away from making some shit happen. My guy, what are you talking about? You nowhere around my nephew. F your nephews, boy, and you.
Now, he just said right there, F your nephews and you, man. Yeah, this situation looks like looks like it's about to get ugly, like the 300-pound stepmom, man. You know, like I said, once again, this is uncharted territory. Damien Porter has always been a strong supporter of his homies and individuals from his faction, as far as I can tell, right? And so, you know, to have this conversation online, yeah, it's definitely crazy.
You know what I'm saying? It'll be different. You know, I don't like. I be trying to stay away from the Hoover business. You know what I'm saying?
Ask what you need to ask, because you about to piss me off too.
Hey, Gumby said, ask what you about to ask, because you about to piss me off too, man. See, that's one of the reasons to keep it 100 with y'all, man, why I rock with Gumby, right? Gumby has one of them funny personalities when he's not trying to be funny, right? So some of his mannerisms, the way he talks to me is just funny. He reminds you sometimes, man, of that drunk uncle that show up at the party talking shit. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, let's hop back into it.
Well, on No Jumper, Wack called in with two people, right? And essentially, you know, the phone call went viral, and you know, the guys on the phone were accusing you of harboring a snitch. You know,
What we supposed to do? They talking about whatever they showed me, bro. I told you then that was some, because this what they told us. Period. I know y'all ain't got no paperwork. This nigga ain't never been on no stand or no like that. Y'all talking about some y'all releasing in bits and pieces. Okay, then if somebody feel that they want to do something to this, y'all come do something to him. What the? Everybody talking about Gumby this, Gumby that. No, y'all do something to him. Y'all, it's all on me for. No, what you mean?
you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, harboring a snitch. Okay. I already told you about the character of one of the individuals on the phone. And the other individual on the phone, you know, said it's a sad situation. You know, so this situation, you know, I'm not going to get into no detail about anything. I'm just going to address what you said. In regards to that whole little video that they sent, the interrogation, you know what I'm saying, and Hefe, you know what I'm saying, he scrutinized it. You know what I'm saying, everybody pretty much scrutinized it. And at the end of the day, it looked bad. But couldn't nobody say that he told on nobody specifically. Of course, we seen it, and was whispering and this, that, and the other, right? But my whole thing is this right here. So if I'm being accused of harboring a snitch, all you Hoovers who seen that video, right? And y'all was hanging around him too, and y'all knew him, let him pull up the whole shits. Milk 74 say, y'all harbored a snitch too. On Hoover, he did. That's what he said. On Hoover, I heard him. I seen it on my own eyes. Yeah, you bust right. I'm on your head. And when my nephews see you, on Hoover, have that same energy. Stay in that little downtown apartment if you want to, Hoover. You got to come out sometime. You done played yourself with this one, Buster.
Yeah, what Milk do? Here we go with his nephews again. Now Milk got to stay in his downtown apartment, because if he comes out, you already know what it is with his nephews. Keep that same energy, your nephew's going to get him. Now he's threatening Milk. But why? You just said he's talking out of both sides of his mouth. He just said, Real Tune just said, that there was a question about you harboring a snitch, which, by the way, I'm going to get into. He was harboring a snitch. You know.
Now, once again, that is a very inflammatory accusation. Let's get it clear and make it very concise. He's not accusing Gumby of snitching. He's basically saying that Gumby was harboring a snitch, basically meaning that it can mean a few things, that he had a dude who had snitched in his presence. He was protecting him from others. He was keeping company with him. He was just hanging out with him. But anytime a person is proven to be a snitch in the gang world, that dude becomes a dude that is basically not to be messed with, whatever at all, in any shape or form, no matter, you know, what he's doing. If he got $1 million, if he's spreading it around, because the dude is a snitch. The snitch is the ultimate disgrace in the streets, right? So anytime you are hanging with this dude, protecting him, keeping him away from the wolves or whatever, that's basically saying that you are just as bad as the snitch, because this dude has broken rule number 1 and you are still in the company of this dude. So for any type of individual who cares about his name, has a respectable name, that is a direct insult, man. And so I don't know Gumby personally. I believe I may have said that earlier, but just watching him through his interviews, that's going to be something that he is not going to keep quiet about. And once again, like I said, man, this is about to get ugly.
So, and he says, well, if I was harboring a snitch, then all of the homies was harboring a snitch too. Everyone who was allowing him to pull up and all of that, and they didn't do anything to him, they were harboring a snitch. And then he says, Milk 74 said the same thing on his channel, basically, that if Gumby was harboring a snitch, all of y'all was harboring a snitch. And then he just spazzes out. I saw that too, Milk. Yeah, Joe bust that. Ooh. He just said the same thing that you said. You just started off by saying, if I was harboring a snitch, you was throwing all the homies under the bus, saying they was all harboring the snitch too. It wasn't just me. The homies was harboring the snitch too. They was letting them pull up. They was around them too. You snitching on the homies now. So Milk said the same thing. Basically, taking up for you, saving you. Saying, well, if Gumby was harboring a snitch, all y'all was harboring a snitch. Like, you can't just put it all off on Gumby. Gumby's not the only one that was around this individual. It's what Milk was saying. It's what Gumby is saying. So why, when Milk says it, he can't come out of his house anymore? Dude, like he said, you get into it with every Hoover, just want to threaten everybody. Who you think you are? The hell? Last I checked, you bleed like everybody else. These dudes crazy.
It's like as this is going on, right? Let's stay here for a second.
Shout out to my young homie Milk. Shout out to my young homie Milk from 7-4. And there's no question, bro. If you go back to my prior videos, you will know, many of you know, that's been around my channel from the beginning, or even some time ago, that Milk and I, Milk 7-4, and I were in the cell together in the county jail, in the Los Angeles County Jail. The whites had attacked Milk for being white and being from a black gang, being from Hoover. The Hoovers responded, retaliated. Baby Groove Mac, Forlo, Porky, rest in peace. They all caught cases. They attacked the whites for attacking Milk. I spoke about it on my channel. Go find the videos. So when the whites had attacked Milk before I moved into the cell with him. And when I found out what happened, I heard what happened, I got on a tier, Milk could tell you, and Milk has mentioned this before, I got on a tier in the county jail and said, anyone touches Milk again is going to die. I just pulled up. I said this on a tier. And I was indeed talking to the whites, and they knew it. So I had Milk's back then. I've always had his back. And he can't come out of his house. Ain't nothing going to happen to him. Ain't nobody going to do nothing to him. He's from the set. He's from Hoover, bro. And
so once again, there it is. The big fella, he verifies that Milk 7-4 is definitely from Hoover. In the past, I've seen on YouTube individuals trying to question the validity of Milk representing Hoover. The big fella DAMIEN says no. I was in the cell with him. He definitely is official, like the referee's whistle. Like I said, man, I've always seen Damian Porter advocate for his homies in the event they were solid homies and, were still considered, good within the fold. So once again, to see, this potential situation getting ready to explode between him and Gumby is definitely something new.
I got more love and respect for Milk. I did time with him. So I wouldn't allow anybody to just put their hands on him. Ain't nothing gonna happen to Milk. Knock it off. Nobody's scared of you dudes.
Right after that call, it was like you went on the internet and called out Whack 100. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Whack 100. Listen. Let me explain something to y'all. This man is a whole, like, I'm beginning to learn the internet as I walk through and I fuck with people, right? Even including your right? But
And see, hey, that's what I like about Gumby right there, man. I'm gonna keep it 100, right? Gumby does not pull any punches. You know, he told him, just like your monkey ass, you know, if it's in his heart, he's gonna say it, right? And honestly, you know, that's why it seems like this situation may go downhill fast, because even though Gumby is incarcerated, I believe when it gets back to him, he's definitely going to have a response. Damien Porter has already told him, you open your mouth one more time and I'm going to release the bomb, right? And so this is looking like it's going to be, you know, definitely a situation, man, that's going to have a lot of people paying attention to it one way or the other.
at the same time, y'all dudes is real content dudes. That dude Whack is not a gang member. Anybody, next time he say on Pyro, say you're lying. He's not a gang member. He's a complete civilian. Complete.
Now that topic right there, I would have to agree with, right? And my reason is this, right? And me and a friend of mine, we had a discussion about this a while ago, right? If you are saying on Pyro, or you saying cuz, or you saying whatever you claiming, right, then those are your affiliations and your ties to that gang world, right? So then to turn around and interview a well-known snitch, and I'm talking about 6ix9ine here, it can't be, because real gang members despise snitches, and they're not going to let money be the reason that they hang with a snitch or profit off a snitch or make money with a snitch, right? So honestly, you have to pick a side. You can't be a real gang member talking about I'm a gang member, but you're going to compromise your principles for some money. So that statement right there, I definitely agree with. You know, Whack is a content creator. Nothing wrong with that, but you can't play both sides of the fence, in my opinion.
Along with all the laws and guidelines what a civilian got. Listen to what I'm telling you. Okay. He don't give a who, when, whatever. He don't give a as long as he can be in the content, he's relevant. As long as y'all keep bringing him up, he's relevant. And he got something on Adam 12. He got something. He got to be blackmailing Adam 12. He got to be. He only with he can get over on. If he got anything, if he feel like you can challenge his authority in any type of way, on Hoover, you out of there. He didn't try to assassinate my character about 15 times already. Keep trying on Hoover. You can try all you want to. See, 'cause I'm really in the streets with these little niggas. I'm with the little niggas on Hoover. We had a whole Hoover picnic parade in this fully on Hoover. Stop playing with me, bro. I ain't here to go back and forth with nobody who play with the police, bro. That's why I can't really get too far into them situations about this phone call. And saying once again, I apologize to my community for the way these weird ass try to, you know what I'm saying, play us out like that on game. But it's all good. They already know what it is. Hoover though. What else you want to know?
Well,
no, you as I said when I reacted to that video with the homies calling in, talking to Gumby on No Jumper, Gumby should have cut the conversation short immediately.
Okay, so that's about all I'm gonna do on this video right here, man. If you want to see the video in its entirety, go to Inside Story with Damien Porter, man. And once again, if you have not signed up for my channel, No Chill For Real, get there, sign up, check it out. I'm gonna be doing all type of content unrelated to prison reactions. We're gonna talk about this every now and then. It may get a little serious, but for the most part, man, we're gonna have a little fun. So you already know what it is. It's your boy, No Chill For Real. I'm not your doctor, so fuck how you feel. Catch me when I'm back at it like a smoker with a crack habit.